So when I was starting off, you know, at 23, 24, trying to run a brand, and before it became all of this, and before the six figures, and before employees, and before office, and many warehouses, and taxes, and there was a point when nobody in the world even wanted my brand. And I used to sit there and ponder if this was really for me. You know, I used to really sit there and like ask myself, can I really do this? I always had the willingness to build the skills, the habits, and the traits, and climb up the hierarchy to my success. But when you 23, 24, and all you got is a Fanta and a top ramen and a few $100s, and you just spend $100 of that to an LLC and really like bet on yourself, you know, I was moving with such an urgency, but at the same time, it was super hard for me those first 18 to 24 months, just due to the simple fact that nobody knew my brand, nobody trusted my brand, and nobody liked my brand. So in this video, I'm going to break down 5 reasons exactly why nobody wants to buy your clothing brand. And this is just comes from the lessons that I have learned and what I have seen, not just with myself, but with other friends and, you know, people that gone off to do amazing things. But all of us share kind of that same story when we were all in the trenches trying to figure it out. And these are like the commonalities that I found on like why nobody wants to buy your brand, where you at right now with your brand. The first reason is very simple. They obviously don't want it. If you're sitting there and just keep trying to throw spaghetti on the wall, and, you know, going from 0 to 25 shirts and then to 70 and then 100 and so on and so on, obviously it's like you got to make a pivot somewhere. And I always tell people all the time, there's only 3 reasons why people don't buy from you. It's either the person, it's either the product, or it's either the price. So if nobody wants it, it's one of those 3 reasons right there. You know what I mean? So when I was even first starting out, people just simply did not want it. And it was either the design, you know, it was either the mission of the brand, I'm talking to the wrong target audience, or the price point was either too high, or it just wasn't value enough for somebody to pull out their wallet and be like, here you go. And the second reason why nobody wants your brand is simply because they don't need it, right? So you got to build up your brand from the story to the commodity, to the quality of the product, to the storytelling of the product, the storytelling of the brand, the creed, the community. You have to build everything to where it's on somebody's mind the day that you drop stuff, right? And I tell people all the time that, you know, the world is getting harder. You know what I'm saying? Every market is getting oversaturated. So it's a lot of filter that a human being has to go through to finally open up to see what is actually valuable, right? Like, what is the oracle here? So for you to get caught up in the filtered mess, right, of all these other brands, all this non-substance stuff, now you really gotta like hone yourself in on the back end and the front end of your brand when it, like I said, when it comes to the storytelling and the creed and the authority figures that you have behind you, all this other stuff, right? And that is going to start to get people to want to buy in because they simply don't need it because your community isn't strong enough. You know, the brand messaging isn't strong enough. Your brand positioning might not be strong enough, but we got to get it to such a point where when drop day comes, somebody's like, hey bro, at 12, I'm clocking out of work or I'm taking my break so I can go punch in my credit card to go buy this new collection from this brand that like I love and I've seen grown and I've grown with them. So now this leads me to the third reason why nobody wants your clothing brand, and it's simply because they don't value it. But the reason why they don't value it is probably because other people don't value it. But the only way to get other people to value your brand is first you got to come off. It's not about the design. It's not about, you know, all the cool graphics and ideals that you have and the concepts that you want to put out there to the world. It all comes down to the storytelling. When you look at every single powerful brand out there, they have amazing storytelling. Go look at Apple. They have their whole theme of thinking different, right? When you go look at their commercials, when you go look at all of this stuff, like the innovation, the minimalist, you know, innovative technology, but then they do the storytelling of like being one of the world's greatest thinkers. You know what I mean? But even with my brand, perfect example, like Lord knows, you know, is made for those who feel like they're misunderstood in general society. And the word Lord knows means Lord knows your purpose in life, right? But my life and my upbringing and my ideologies on religion and politics in the world, and not just only that, on my lifestyle that I live from being a sinner and also the saint, that's being reflected within my clothing brand. You know what I mean? So when you go look at my brand, it's screaming out Lord knows to you without saying one word. I don't got to be like, hey, tap you on the shoulder, hey, you know, this is Lord knows. No, like, people right when they see it. And if you in that world, it's like you already know what time it is. You always want people to value your brand, but it comes down to if people have not valued your brand yet, it has nothing to do with the designs or anything. People, like I always said, they want to be a part of something. When you look at the sexes, when you look at religion, and when you look at politics, people are out here marching, bear spraying each other with fucking in the face over politics, right? Over presidents that they would never meet in their life, right? And I'm not going to get into the right and the left and stuff like that, but all I'm just saying is people are die hard and people are looking out there to be a part of a community and a culture. So rather than trying to just put the commodity out there and you're just like, oh, hey guys, like buy my new hoodie. Why don't we just sit there and just build such a cohesive and a grand story to have somebody be like, damn, they're speaking to me. I want to be a part of that. And then that's when they're going to start to value it. So this leads me to my fourth reason why nobody out there wants your clothing brand. And it's simply because they just don't understand it. So if nobody's understanding the graphics and they're always asking you, what is this brand about and stuff like that, your messaging is weak. You want to make the messaging so strong that people understand it to such a degree where right when they see it, they already know what time it is. Even if it's their first time seeing it, it's like either it's for you or it's not for you. And the thing is, with me, I'm a big believer that you never want to have great customers. And what I mean is that in between the building person, right? It's like, oh, well, I kind of like, you know, Timmy's brand, but then I kind of don't. It's like, no. It's like either you 100% fuck with this or you 100% don't, because it's okay to turn down more people and then hone in those people that 100% fuck with you. Because once you get those people that 100% fuck with you and they understand and overstand your brand, those are the ones that's going to walk with you through the test of time. You know what I'm saying? Those are your apostles if you the Jesus Christ of your brand, which you more than likely are because you're the visionary and the brand owner. But a lot of people out there, you know, even me in my early days, like when I'm still selling clothes out of the trunk and shit, I'm like, why is it so hard for people to understand like the mission of my brand? And it's real simple. It's like, dude, it's your first fucking t-shirt. Like it's your second shirt. It's your third shirt. Like it takes time to hone in that message and it takes time to build this brand that's like super, super cohesive. But if you guys watch my video somewhere on here where I talk about, you know, building out your brand identity, that's when things get a whole lot easier to have that message super conveyed to the point where people are like, oh, like I understand this. Even if it's their first time seeing it, it's 100% not for me or 100% is for me. But you don't want to be that person that's like, you're catering to so many different people. And now you got this flip-floppy person where they're like, oh, well, I kind of fuck with this brand. And then on some of their drops, I kind of don't fuck with it. No, like we're talking to one person. We're talking to replicated versions of us because you are your target audience. You know what I'm saying? And we got to hone down on that messaging and make it so fucking strong to where people are like, I do understand this. But if you're not getting some sales right now, and if your brand ain't working out for you, this might be one of the reasons that nobody understands your brand. And this leads me to the fifth reason why nobody is out there buying your brand. And this is simply because nobody doesn't know about it. You know what I'm saying? So if nobody doesn't know about it, you know, you got to go get more eyeballs of that audience pool that you're trying to reach. But at the same time, you need to go look at the audience pool, even on a competitor standpoint, and look at who's the LeBron James, the Kobe Bryant of that lane, right? Because like what I always tell people, 90% of the market always runs to the most dominant player. Look at the phone that you have. More than likely, pull it out right now. You probably got an iPhone. More than like 90% of humanity out there has an Apple product in their house, right? And that's simply because they're the most dominant player when it comes to technology and innovation and stuff like that. You get what I'm saying? So if you're struggling to get eyeballs on your brand, I always tell people all the time that 80% of your time as a brand owner needs to be focused on the marketing. And you really need to start asking yourself this daily. Is the activity that I'm doing bringing more customers through the building? And if it's not bringing more customers to your door, right, for them to go on the exploration, to know about your brand and trying to go viral, whatever it may be, to go get more eyeballs, you simply need to stop doing it. Because I always break down the top 4 pillars when it comes to running a brand, and that's marketing, sales, production, and design. If you don't got good marketing, you're not getting no sales. No good sales, you ain't gonna have no production. And then all those dope ideas and Rolls Royce concepts that you had, it's all for nothing. So if people aren't knowing about your brand, that's exactly why you're struggling probably with your brand right now. So if I was you guys, I'll watch my other videos when it comes to marketing and the 80-20 and going viral on TikTok and things like that. But before we get off this video, let's just do a quick recap of why nobody is buying your brand. The first reason is because they don't want it. The second reason is they don't need it. The third reason is that they don't value it. The fourth reason is because they simply don't understand it. And the fifth one is the most simplest. They just don't know about it. So ponder on that and think about what is the reasons why nobody wants your brand. Like I said, I'm here to help you guys out. It's a lot of struggling brand owners out there. I've been in the game for 8 years. I've seen many people come and go. I've gone through hella hardships myself, and I'm here to tell you everything on what to do and what not to do to save you years and years of time, so you're not a struggling brand owner like I once was, and like majority of the people out there in the marketplace. So if you guys like this type of video, please give me a like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Machiavelli is out. Peace.